Should you be eating before a morning game, a morning training session, or a morning gym session? If you do eat, what should you be eating? And how much time before you exercise should you be eating? Are you wasting your time having a coffee if it's not 90 minutes after you wake up? Luckily for you, all these questions are going to be answered in this video. Right now, it's just after 6 a.m. It's Saturday morning, and I'm in Sydney doing some coaching with some cricketers up here in Sydney. Today on the agenda, I'm heading to the Sydney Sixers game. But first, before that, I've got a running session to get done and a gym session as well. And I'm going to take you through exactly what I eat, drink beforehand to make sure I have enough energy, don't feel heavy and bloated, and can absolutely get the most out of my sessions. Let's get into it. Absolute shock, bit of rain in Sydney. First things first, obviously water and getting hydrated is the most important thing. Typically, you'll probably wake up a little bit dehydrated, so it's super important you get some water back into your system. Don't go guzzling water, so much volume all at once. That's probably what's going to make you feel heavy and weird in the guts. Just slowly sip your water up as you're either walking to the gym, as you drive into your game of cricket, as you're driving to the oval to a running session or a cricket training session. So just slowly drink your water and sip on it. And get some electrolytes in there as well. Hydrolytes are really good. Maybe some coconut water potentially could be really beneficial. So that's the most important thing there. Make sure we're hydrated, back up to baseline. And as always, the most simple way to see if you're hydrated is if you go to the toilet, your piss is clear. Now, I'll be recommending having, the more you're going to sweat, the more water you're going to need to get back into your body. So that's a really nice principle thing about there. Aim for anywhere between 500 mils as the minimum, to 1 litre to 1.5 litres of liquids, but just trial and error and just see what your body can handle. So the whole human don't have caffeine until 90 minutes after you wake up is personally needs a bit of a myth. Potentially could it be more beneficial to have it 9 minutes after? Like, will you get more of a buzz? Absolutely yes, but I still think the psychological benefits and I know personally that if I have a coffee when I first wake up, I just feel better for my sessions. So if you are a caffeine drinker and you like caffeine is super beneficial to increasing the quality of your sessions. So if we know this, and if you've got a game in the morning, or if you've got a training session, a gym session, a running session, and you want to have some caffeine, don't think, oh no, Andrew Huberman told me not to. Have that coffee. I'm going a double espresso this morning just because I've got a tough running session and I don't want to run with a really heavy gut full of milk, whatever. Typically, I usually go long milk or something like that, but you just go what's personal preference for you. Some people do like it. Some people can handle the milk, some people can't. I probably could, but I'm just going to go double espresso today and then get that caffeine hit and then boom, I'm going to go and get some carbohydrates into my system, which I'll run you through in a second. Caffeine in the system. Now it's time to get my hands on some food. Now, it's super important when eating before exercise, thinking about getting carbohydrates into our system. We don't want to focus on protein because that's not the body's preferred energy source. Fats are an energy source, but they take the longest to break down, whereas carbs are fastly digested and they can turn into energy really quickly, which is what we want in exercise. Now, there's a couple different types of carbohydrates. We've got low GI carbs. These are more about whole foods, potatoes, whole grains, like we've got wheat bix, etc., which is great for that long-lasting energy. However, before we go and exercise, we want something that's a bit more fast digesting. It's called high GI carbs. So think about pieces of fruit, pretzels, rice cakes, anything of these nature. I'm about to go into Woolies now. I'm going to show you a couple options there. That's what we're after here, some fast digesting carbohydrates. And you want to be aiming to have as close to 30 grams of carbs as you can. Fortunately for these options are the ones that are the most, they're the lightest on the tummy as well, so they won't leave you feeling heavy going into a session. Now, if you're somebody who just can't stomach any food, oh, gross, that's going to make you feel so heavy. Going to things like a Gatorade is absolutely elite. If you spin this around here, if you can read that, we're looking at about 36 grams of carbs. This is where liquids can come into play here. If you can't stomach some solids foods, get some liquids into your diet. Things like these rice cakes as well. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to handle a little bit of fruit, so I'm going to go an apple. And then mangoes are the greatest fruit on the planet, so while I'm up here, may as well treat myself and get my hands on a mango as well. So let me quickly recap that for you. First things first, number one, you need to make sure you're hydrated. So make sure you're just getting some sort of water into it, not sucking down water too fast where you feel bloated and sick. Just lightly sipping on some water as you wake up and get into the day. Electrolytes is also a great option to have there as well. Number two, if you like caffeine, have some caffeine. Caffeine is great for boosting your energy, delaying the onset of fatigue, great for mental clarity, and for me, I fucking love coffee. So I'm going to have a coffee before a training session. Number three, need to have some sort of carbohydrates in your system. If you're going into a training session fasted, you're not going to get the most out of that you can. Now, as I went through in Woolies before, if you can't stomach any foods, you can go to liquids like a Gatorade. You can make yourself a little smoothie. One thing I didn't actually look at as well is dried fruit like dates or sultanas or something like that. Those are really good because they're really, really small, they're dense, and you get a lot of energy and calories into your body without feeling heavy and sluggish. I've obviously gone for a couple of pieces of fruit, but as I said, I've gone through the different options through Woolies just then. If you do want more options though, and you want something a bit more comprehensive, I've got a link down below to a free nutrition guide, which you should be downloading to understand how to eat everyday life and on game days, trainings, etc. Now to finish up the question, how long should I eat before exercise? Now, that's obviously going to depend. I recommend anywhere between 20 to 40 minutes before your session. So, might be getting up that 10, 15 minutes earlier just to get yourself enough time to have some food and let it digest. That's the most important thing. I mean, again, you let our food to digest a little bit. Longer the better probably, but also depends on the type of foods that you're having. If you have something a bit more heavier, it's going to take longer to digest. For me, the apple and the mango there, I'm probably going to wait 20 minutes and then I'm going to be fine going out there for my sessions. This is an absolute must to be doing before every single session that you do, every game that you play, every training session that you have, to make sure you get the most out of it. The last thing I want is for you to be fatiguing and having low quality sessions and not getting the most out of it. If you're going to do the work, if you're going to put in the effort to wake up early and go to your training sessions or go to your games, then you may as well get the most out of it. Like, you just may as well. If you want more tips on how to increase your cricket performance from a strength and conditioning, nutrition, mental skills, sprint training, and all things that tie into performance, then click subscribe down below. And if you're interested in joining my online coaching, I've got a link down below with all the details. And if you want another video that's going to make you a better cricketer, then there's one right here ready to go. You may as well click on it and make yourself a better player today.